OEE. So what we are going to see now is OEE. OEE stands for Overall Equipment Effectiveness. What does it stand for? Overall Equipment Effectiveness. We'll see how to calculate OEE and how it helps, the plant manager or a professional in a factory environment to understand the performance of the equipment, performance of the plant as a whole. And then there is something called another tool called Heijunka. Heijunka means leveling. Heijunka means leveling, right? So, and then Kanban. Kanban means a signal for the demand. Kanban means a signal for the demand. So when there is a Kanban, you can understand there is a demand. When there is a demand, I will produce. If no Kanban, no demand, I don't produce, right? So Kanban is a tool that will help you to ensure your manufacturing is pull based and not a push based. And then Poke-Yoke. Poke-Yoke is a lean tool which will prevent the failures. Which will prevent the failures. In English, Poke-Yoke means mistake proofing. Right? The TPM we already covered. So these things we will try to cover one by one, right? Up to 3:30, what happens? So OEE means overall equipment effectiveness. Overall equipment effectiveness accounts all losses that can happen in a factory environment. All forms of losses that can happen in a factory environment. The first form of loss is availability. If equipment is not available, that is a loss. How many of you understand? If an equipment is not available for productive work, that should be considered as a loss. Am I correct with my English?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
The equipment is not available, so company is losing money. So availability loss. And number two, performance loss. What is performance loss? I have to produce 100 units in a particular time, but I don't produce 100. I produce 80 only. Now, what is the loss I am incurring? Performance loss. 20 units, I produced less. That is called what? Performance loss. But your equipment is available, but performance is lost. And now third thing, quality loss. What is quality loss? I produced 80, but out of the 80, only 40 units are, acceptable. 40 units are passed in the quality testing. Yeah, half of the items are rejected. Now do you understand there is also a quality loss? Am I correct? Yes or no? So 80 you produced, half of them is rejected. So what percentage is the quality loss now?
40%.
40 out of 80 is not 40%. 40 out of 80 is 50%. So quality loss is there, performance loss is there, availability loss is there. You need to account for all the three losses using a single metric, and that metric is OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. If OEE is equal to 100%, that means what? Your equipment is, your equipment or your plant is always producing good parts. That means no quality loss. Your equipment runs at the required speed. The fast is, as per the desire, as per the theory, as per the plan. So there is no performance loss. And there is no stoppage. Equipment is not stopped at all. It keeps on producing product. That means there is no availability loss. Do you all understand what is OEE? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So no availability loss, no performance loss, no quality loss. Now your OEE will be 100%. But if the moment availability loss happens, OEE will go down. Performance loss happens, OEE will go down. Quality loss happens, OEE will go down. So OEE is nothing but the product of availability and performance and quality. Everything can be calculated separately and then should be multiplied together to get OEE. Availability can be measured as an availability index. Performance can be measured as a performance index. Quality can be measured as a quality index. Sometimes people call it availability rate, performance rate, and quality rate. It's all one and same. Multiply all the three index, the result is OEE. So what is the formula for overall equipment effectiveness? Availability index multiplied by performance index multiplied by quality index. All these index can become a maximum value of 1. What is the maximum value of availability index? 1. What is the maximum value of performance index? 1. Similarly, maximum value of quality index is also 1. 1 means no loss at all, right? Got it. So now OEE, there is also a formula for OEE, mathematical formula. We will also try to understand. Fully productive time divided by plant operating time. Fully productive time divided by plant operating time. Right? Can somebody tell me how much time you may run your your factory will have in a month? In a month, how much time your factory can operate? That is called plant operating time. If I run my plant all the days, then how many days I will have in a month?
30 or 31.
30 or 31 days. If I run all the 3 shifts, 31 days into 24 hours. So plant operating time is basically the maximum time period during which you can run your plant. But do you really run your plant all the days? Or no, we give holidays,
No,
right?
sir.
So only certain period of the total operating time, the plant is productive. That is numerator, fully productive time divided by plant operating time. Right? All of you understand what is plant operating time and what is productive time? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now there is something called downtime. What is downtime? Breakdowns. A breakdown happens. Some setup is going on, some adjustment is going on. That means during the downtime, no productive work is happening. So downtime is one thing. Another thing is speed down. This is called a downtime loss. Speed loss means I stop my machine, maybe for some reason. Sometimes I may run my machine in a slower speed. These are all called speed loss. Now quality loss. When I start the production, initially there will be rejections. Because initial period, there will be generally there could be more rejection. And then things will normalize. And during production also, there will be rejection. That is called a production rejection. These are all called quality loss. So this downtime loss will help you to calculate availability. Speed loss will help you to calculate performance rate, and quality loss will help you to calculate quality rate or quality index. You see. So what is this breakdown loss or setup and adjustment? Setup and adjustment. There are two things. If you stop the machine for up to 10 minutes, that means you are doing setup and adjustment. So what is basically setup and adjustment? If you stop the machine for less than 10 minutes, that means you are doing setup and adjustment. If you stop a machine for more than 10 minutes, that is considered a breakdown. Do you all understand the difference between setup and breakdown?
Yes, sir.
Less than 10 minutes is called setup. More than 10 minutes is called breakdown, right? So why the breakdown happens? A tool is failing, a tool failure, an unplanned maintenance takes place. A general breakdown happens and equipment fails. But less than 10 minutes, why I need to stop my machine? Because I need to make some adjustment, like I change the dies, I do some setup. There is a material not shortage for me, and some adjustment I am doing, and these are all the setup and adjustment kind of thing. Next, small stop versus reduced speed. What is small stop? Small stop losses occur when equipment stops for a short time as a result of a temporary problem. These small stop are under 10 minutes. Small stop means under 10 minutes. A component is jamming and feed is given wrongly. A sensor got blocked and a delivery got blocked. These are all examples of smaller stoppages. You will correct it very fast. Another thing, reduced speed. Reduced speed means it takes more than 10 minutes loss of the speed. So it refers to the difference between the design speed and actual operating speed. Design speed and actual operating speed. You need to compare your actual speed with the nameplate capacity, right? With the design capacity. And this happens due to the wear and tear of the equipment. It happens due to the inefficiency of the operator, right? So there are small stop, there are reduced speed. What is small stop? Stopping the machine for less than 10 minutes. But reduced speed means the difference between the design speed of production versus the actual speed of production. Startup rejection and production rejection. Some equipments require a warm-up time and certain adjustment you need to do during or after the warm-up so that your results will be optimum. So till you produce the optimum output, all the rejections are called startup rejection. Startup rejection will occur only during the startup time. Do you know, I think, hope you must have seen, if you visit certain factory, let us say a boiler. So boiler, the first half an hour, they don't take any reading. Or you run an engine, the first 30 minutes, they don't take any reading. Because it is only after running the engine for 30 minutes, it comes to the optimum performance. And thereafter only, they start considering the readings. That means always there will be a startup time, and during which also some rejection could happen. And so certain scrappages will be there, reworks will be there. But after the startup, once the output becomes, gets optimized, any of the further rejections are called what? Production rejection. Do you all understand what is startup rejection and what is production rejection? These losses occur when products, when products produced are, come again, are not conforming to the specification. So these are rejection during steady state production. So during startup production, the rejections are called startup rejection. Once you cross the startup period, that is called what? Steady state production. And steady state production, the rejections are called production rejection. Hope it is clear. All of you understand? So far is good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now.
Yes, sir.
Then you all know plant operating time, right? And plant operating time, and then now this is called shutdown, planned shutdown. Can you give me an example of planned shutdown? When you will close the factory?
Breakdown maintenance. Breakdown maintenance.
Sundays I will close, am I right? All Sundays, probably my factory may be holiday, so I close. So what is that called? That is a planned shutdown. Do you have lunch break?
Yes, sir.
So lunch break will also be a planned shutdown. You will have a tea break. That is also a planned shutdown. Anything you already know that your machines are not going to run, all of them will be included in planned shutdown. Like your maintenance also, if you have the planned maintenance, that will come under planned shutdown. So the overall time minus the shutdown time will give the balance is called what? Planned production time. Do you all understand what is planned operating time and planned production time? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In a shift, in one shift, what is the plant operating time?
8 hours.
8 hours. So plant operating time in a shift is 8 hours. And now let me say the lunch time is 30 minutes. Lunch time is 30 minutes and the tea break is 15 minutes and there are 2 tea breaks. And then every shift there will be a maintenance of 30 minutes. Now totally what is the shutdown time for every shift?
1.5 hours, sir.
1.5
1.5
hours.
hours. So what is the planned production time?
8 hours.
No. Plant operating
6
time
and a
is
half.
8 hours. But what is planned production time?
6.5.
6 and a half.
6.5 hours. Only 6.5 hours you are going to run your factory and you are going to produce output. Do you now understand what is the difference between plant operating time and the plant production time?
Yes, sir.
You also understand what is planned shutdown?
Yes, sir.
Right. Sometimes what happens, the lunch time, declared time is 30 minutes. But what will happen? Sometimes, they may consume 35 minutes. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if the operator doesn't switch on the machine, in 30 minutes, it takes additional 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That becomes, additional downtime. Your plan in over and above the planned maintenance, if any breakdown happens, that will be a breakdown maintenance. And that is again called what? Downtime loss. Do you now understand what is downtime loss? If the lunch time is 30 minutes, but one particular day, the lunch duration was, consumed as 45 minutes. Now 30 minutes of the lunch is planned. The extra 15 minutes is called what?
Downtime loss.
Downtime. Right? The extra 15 minutes is called downtime. And suddenly a breakdown happened. And another 45 minutes, is breakdown happened. So already lunch, extra 15 minutes, there is a stoppage. Now there is a breakdown for 45 minutes. Now how much is the total downtime loss now?
1 hour.
1 hour. Your production time is already 6.5 hours. Now 1 hour is lost. So what is the operating time actually?
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. This 5.5 hours is called operating time. 1 minute. Now, do you understand what is the difference between planned production time and operating time?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference? How will you get the operating time from the planned production time? Come on, tell me. Tell me a way.
Operating time is the time of entering to the company and leaving the company, total 8 hours, sir. In that operating time, planned production time means the switching on the machine and including with the lunch and break, sir.
So operating time you can obtain from the planned production time. Planned production time minus unplanned shutdowns of the machine, right? Any unplanned downtime should be subtracted from the planned production time. The result is called what? Operating time. This diagram is self-explanatory, right? And now there is a speed loss. What is speed loss? What is your operating time now? What is your operating time?
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. Let us say every 1 hour you get 100 output. Every 1 hour you get 100 output. So in 5.5 hours, how much output you are supposed to get?
550.
550. But in reality, you produced only 450. So how much is the speed loss?
100.
That means 1 hour is lost because of the slowing down of the process. Do you understand? You have slowed down the process and you lost 1 hour. What you normally achieve in 4.5 hours, now you achieved in 5.5 hours. Now, do you understand the difference between operating time and net operating time?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, how many units you produced? How many units you
450.
produced?
450.
450.
Yeah.
Actually, you should have produced 550, but what you produced is only 450.
450.
Now, this 450, your quality quality team is checking, and out of the 450, some 100 units are rejected. So how much is the units that are acceptable now?
350.
350.
350. How much time you generally require to produce 350 units?
3.5 hours.
3.5 the 3.5 hours is the fully productive time. Do you understand? 3.5 hours is the fully productive time. Quality loss is how much time? Another 1 hour is lost. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So now do you understand what is fully productive time, what is net operating time, what is operating time, and what is planned production time, and what is total plant operating time? Fully productive time plus quality loss is equal to come on, read it out. Fully productive time plus quality loss is equal to
Net operating time.
Net operating
net
time.
operating time. Net operating time plus speed loss is equal to
Operating time.
Operating time.
operating time plus downtime, unplanned downtime loss is equal to
Planned production time.
planned production time. Planned production time plus planned shutdown time is equal to
Plant operating time.
You all understand?
Yes, sir.
Only when you know
Yes,
all
sir.
these things, you can calculate OEE. Now, a plant operating time is 8 hours. 8 hours means 480 minutes. 8 hours means 480 minutes. What is this 480 minutes called? Plant
Plant operating time.
operating time. Tea time is 2 tea break. Each tea break is 15 minutes. So total tea time is 30 minutes. Tea time is a planned shutdown or unplanned shutdown?
Planned shutdown.
Planned shutdown. Lunch time is also a planned shutdown. And that is how much? 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And then a quality stoppage happens. Some failure has happened. So this is unplanned. You see, quality stop means this is unplanned. It's a downtime. Your machine is down. How much time is wasted?
47 minutes.
And hourly standard 60 parts per minute. What do you understand? Every minute your machine will produce
60 parts.
Now scrap means rejected. In this shift 423 units are rejected. Now you need to calculate the OEE. How much is the OEE? 65.4%. How can I improve the OEE now? Now you have to check availability separately, performance separately, quality separately. Improve the availability, improve the performance, improve the quality, then OEE will improve. Shall we calculate availability, performance, and quality now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now availability. Plant operating time is 480 minutes, but actual production time is 373 minutes. Actual production is 373. What is actual production time? You need to subtract the planned downtime as well as unplanned downtime. Am I correct? How much is the planned downtime? How much was the planned downtime? Tea time, 2 tea break and 1 lunch break. How much it is? 60 minutes. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Then there is a quality stop for 47 minutes. 60 plus 47, 107 minutes. Out of the 480 minutes, 107 minutes is downtime. So what is your availability? 373 divided by 480. Can you calculate 373 divided by 480? Are you getting the 77.7%? Yes. Do you get it?
Yes.
This is how you can calculate the availability. So you must improve the availability to improve the OEE. When I improve the availability of the equipment, then this unplanned downtime, may vanish. So in order to, avoid the unplanned downtime, your equipment should be in a very good maintenance, under very good maintenance. That is why the approaches like TPM helps. Now we move on to performance. What is the theoretical output from the factory in 8 hours? Every minute, how many parts are expected to come out from the machine? Theoretical output? 60 parts. 60 parts per minute. In a shift, totally how many minutes are there?
480.
How do I get 480? 8 hours into
8 hours.
60, 480. So the capacity of the plant is 22,380 parts per shift. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But actually, how many units I produced? Actually, I produced only 19,000. 1 second, 271. Let me check. Yeah, is that value given? Okay. So total output is 19,200 and very good. So 19,271. Yeah. One not okay. How much is the parts rejected? 423, right? 423 is rejected. And now, can you please check, calculate somebody? See here, the actual output is noted here. You see here, what is this? Actual output. Actual output is 19,271. And how many units you lost because of the slow speed? 2,659 you lost. Now, see, do you now understand how the actual output came? Actual output is the units produced. Will you have this number available in your factory? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this will be available. You just every day know the people will report to you the total units produced. So total units produced is 19,271 against 22,380. So what is your performance rate? Only 86.1%. Only 86.1%. So you can calculate the performance rate either in terms of time or in terms of output. Actual output divided by theoretical output gives 86.1%. This is called the performance rate. Now I move on to quality rate. How much you produced? 19,271. Out of 19,271, how many units are rejected? 423. When you reject 423, how many are then accepted? 19,271 minus 423. So this number is accepted. So what is quality index? Quality index, accepted unit divided by total unit. Accepted unit is how much? How much is accepted?
18,838.
Very good. And total unit is 19,271. So get the ratio. Your quality index is 97.8. Now, quality index is 97.8. Performance index is 86.1. Availability index is 77.1. So availability, performance, quality. But what is OEE? OEE is 65% only. How do you get 65%? Multiply all the three. How should you multiply? 0.77 into 0.86 into 0.978. You multiply all the, first of all, you divide by 100. So this becomes 0.777. This becomes 0.861. This becomes 0.978. You multiply all the three, you get 65.4, right? Typically for any factory, overall equipment effectiveness is required to be 80% or 85% and above. If you make it close to 100%, fantastic. But at least it should be 80% and above. Now, what is the OEE in this particular factory?
65.4%.
You now understand enormous opportunity exists for improvement in the factory. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
You can improve your factory. And how will you improve OEE? By improving the availability. Improving the availability is a project. Improving the performance is another improvement project. Improving the quality is another improvement project. In order to improve the availability, in order to improve the performance, in order to improve the quality, you have to first of all create a value stream map of the process. Do you understand? You need to create value stream map of the process. And quality problem means what is the quality problem? You are producing defective items. Am I right? You are producing defective items. Why you call your product a defective? Because it contains some defect. So you need to reduce the defect first. So defect reduction is called what? A Six Sigma project. Am I correct? Defect reduction is called a Six Sigma project. What is the methodology Six Sigma prescribes for defect reduction? Somebody remember? What is the methodology? What is the methodology of Six Sigma? Ravi Kumar taught you, right?
YY analysis, sir.
No. DMAIC. What does D stand for? D stand for define. M stands for measure. A stands for, you forgot. A stands for
Analyze.
analyze. I stands for improve. C stands for control. So what is the methodology Six Sigma uses for reducing defects? DMAC. All of you remember we discussed on day one, DMAC. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So there is a scope for a DMAC project to reduce the defects here. And then there is a scope for reducing the speed loss. Reducing the speed loss means cycle time reduction. The scope is try to reduce the cycle time of the process, every process. If you reduce the cycle time, then speed loss will go down and performance will improve. Availability means the equipments are frequently undergoing some failures. There are breakdowns. So probably TPM can be used as a tool. So here TPM comes into picture to improve the availability of the equipment, and to improve the performance, we focus on cycle time reduction, and to improve the quality, we focus on DMAC project, Six Sigma project. All of you understand how to improve your OEE? Yes? Can I get a yes?
Yes, sir.
So OEE, you improve, and the starting point is value stream map. So this is about OEE. If there are any questions, you can ask.